We're going to get started here in a few minutes. It's going to be a not terribly in-depth show. I do have a couple cool books to talk about. That's about it. Done. Alright. Thought it faded out a little bit better than that. I guess I should look into that. So, what's going on, everybody? This is, I'm the Amazombie. This is Yo Graphic Raps. First episode in a couple weeks here. I was in Florida for a little bit. If you don't know Florida, it is aptly named America's Wang. It is terrible. One of the worst places in the United States that I've ever visited. So work has a tendency to fly me around to different places. Some of them are kind of nice and cool and different. Some places are shitholes, and Florida is a shithole. I don't know of a better way to describe it other than that. So that's about it. Let's talk a little bit about comics. Okay, well, there's a couple big things going on right now. This is actually kind of interesting. First of all, if you know anything about me, you know that I absolutely adore Mr. Dave Sim and his works and Cerebus. One of the most outstanding comic book artists. Let's see if this will work. Oh, there it is. So check that out, Cerebus Archive number 2. If you have not seen this, let's see, hold on. Okay, if you have not seen this, I mentioned, I think either the last episode or the one before that, about the Cerebus Archive number 1. This is number 2. They're almost up to 32,000 with just a couple of days to go, really. And the thing is, if they hit 33,000, they're going to add more bonus prints, blah, blah, blah. But if you want to check it out, it's really cool. Give Dave Sim a little bit of your money. These, like I said, you can check back and see the archive number 1 that I kind of talked about. I think it was on the last episode. And it was really neat. So I'm quite excited for number 2. This one, though, comes with, he has like 21 different prints to choose from that are like bonus. Maybe we'll scroll down here a little ways. You can also get head sketches, you can get some signed book plates. Oh yeah, here we go, some of these bonus bonus plates. So if you can give extra money and not only get the archive, but also some of these bonus plates, including some of these Glamour Puss covers, couple other pages, there's a couple really cool ones in here. Some of them were from posters. There's the Cerebus archive cover. Here's the print from Captain America cover that Dave Sim did. This one's really cool. This Wolveroach or Roach Dark Knight type thing. That's really neat. There's also the Objectivist Spider-Ham, which is, I mean, this is outstanding. You know, this kind of tribute to Steve Ditko. It's actually pretty awesome. So go ahead and give that a look. I greatly recommend it. Really cool. Okay, so done with that one. Let's talk a little bit about comics. So as I mentioned last time, I went to Ape, which was really neat. Had a good old time there. Got some signatures that I talked about. So I went over to one of my local comic shops. It's Red Sky Comics in Merced, California. Not really local for me, but that's my hometown, and whenever I go back, I stop by the comic shop. Picked up a few things, and I got a few things in the mail. So first, what did I pick up at Red Sky? Well, I went because the reason I was even down there is we do an art event once a season that I sometimes play music at. So I stopped by the comic shop before my show. I picked up a few things. This was on a clearance rack, and I'd never heard of this. It's called Can't Get No by Rick Veitch. There we go. Can't Get No. Vertigo, published in around it looks like 2006 or 2008. It was one of those. It was like $5, so I was like, oh, okay, let's check it out. Claims to be, it says 2006. Okay, yeah. Some kind of reference to this guy and his life falling apart, and then all of a sudden he wakes up, and that's when September 11th happens, hence the cover with the two towers. I'm about this far into it, and I'm having a real hard time continually reading it. I find it very difficult. Not difficult in, hard to understand, but one, the art style is very kind of old school classic. I mentioned Steve Ditko, actually it's kind of not that far removed from kind of a classic Steve Ditko kind of style. But the thing that I'm finding hard is just the writing. It has not started in a way that makes me want to continue reading. But that being said, I am going to give it a little bit further and try to get through it. If anyone knows anything about this book that can say whether or not it's worth it, feel free to hit me up. I'll always take some other people's opinion. Oh, if you want to hit me up, you know what? I don't know if I've mentioned this in a long time. You can just search for Yo Graphic Raps on Facebook. There we have a page that shows all the episodes, including the old ones. Yeah, you can hit me up there. Okay, another thing I picked up. I'm actually going to open this because this is actually really neat. I like this one. This is a little privately printed. I'm trying to see, is there a... Nope, this looks like it's self-published. Yes. Yep, no publishing name for this first issue. This is by Jason Shiga, called Demon #1. Okay. And I was told this is supposed to be the first in like a 21-part series. And it's actually, I like it's a very quaint and cute art style. There are words, not very many. It's more pictorial storytelling. But this first issue intrigues me because it's about this guy who ends up, it reminds me of the movie Harold and Maude. And there's a guy, and he apparently ends up trying to kill himself multiple times, but for some reason cannot. Every time he kills himself, he wakes back up and is like, wait, what the heck? I'm supposed to be dead, right? So I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. How is this, what this story ends up being when that's the first issue. So if you like that, if you think it looked interesting, go ahead and check it out. Like I said, Jason Shiga. It's called Demon. It was very. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to issue number 2. Also picked up the newest issue of High Fructose. If you've not read High Fructose, it's one of the best magazines you can still get out there. A lot of high quality art. Really interesting stuff. Paintings. I like because it has a tribute to H.R. Giger, a large retrospective on Giger, who of course passed away earlier this year. And is one of the true masters of like dark art, right? You don't really better than him. Maybe like Beksinski's like the closest, but there's also a huge thing on the paintings of Sid Mead, and the moment that I picked up the magazine and flipped through and saw, I was like, oh, those are Sid Mead paintings. Even though I've never seen these ones before, but if you know the artwork of Sid Mead, you can spot it a mile away. He was an outstanding painter. Especially coming, back in the day, talking about old sci-fi movies and concept art and whatnot. I mean, just, these paintings are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me see here. I especially like his large, landscapes. I mean, it's a little hard to see in, this probably doesn't translate over to the webcam very well, but check it out. Check out Sid Mead. He's outstanding. Okay, so what else new did we get? Well, a couple things. A new printing of Action Philosophers #1 by Dark Horse. It was a 1-for-1. So I decided to go ahead and get it. Apparently they're coming out with a new hardcover collection, so they're reprinting issue #1. This, of course, has Plato, wrestling superstar of ancient Greece, and there's Nietzsche, and features a preview of Resurrectionists. Okay, oh, that's probably just Dark Horse. Okay, so yeah, kind of fun. Action Philosophers #1. It's hilarious, especially if you know about philosophy. It's absolutely an outstanding read. So, a couple things. So, since, I don't know if you, hopefully you guys recall, about 2 years ago, somewhere around there, they printed, there was a book printed called Tales of Sand. Now, this was a unfinished, unpublished screenplay by Jim Henson. It was, I think, the only finished one that was never produced, or something like that. Well, on that note, they sensed the success of that. I mean, I think it won, Eisner Awards, or one of those comic awards, and got a lot of acclaim. Since then, they've really been playing up the Jim Henson stuff. Which, one, I love Jim Henson, so I'm good with that. But two, it kind of seems like they're going a little too far. Well, one of them is this new one, a lost television special by Jim Henson and Jerry Jewell called The Musical Monsters of Turkey Hollow. I have not read it yet. I flipped through it, but I haven't had a chance to read it. I'm somewhat curious about it, but I'm also kind of looking at it just looking at it so far, I'm kind of I wish this would have just been made into a TV show. I don't want to read it as a comic book. So that's kind of why I'm holding off reading it, because I'm a little skeptical. If you guys know anything, feel free to let me know. The other thing that I did get just came out is the 2014 issue of the Best American Comics, which if you do not buy these hardcovers every year, you're missing out. These are amazing books. This year, every year has a guest editor. And what happens is the editors send a whole bunch of cool comics and whatnot, and they send it to the guest editor of the year. The guest editor goes through and picks out what he likes the best, right? and maybe make some comments and blah blah blah.
This guest
editor is Scott McCloud, who of course I mentioned a couple weeks ago or a couple episodes ago, because I was reading that Complete Zot book, which by the way I have not finished. I have not been able to get myself to get into that. Just the same issue I'm having with that Can't Get Notebook. I'm having a hard time getting into it where I want to finish. Anyway, but I do respect Scott McCloud. Best American Comics 2014. I have flipped through this and read a few little pieces, but again, it's on my list. I feel all this stuff just sits in a stack, and I slowly go through the stack. Right. So there are excerpts from Charles Burns with the Hive, which was wonderful. If you have not looked at that with the Hive, which is part 3 of a trilogy. There's sections of there's Art Crumb, there's Jamie Hernandez. Let's see. Sam Sharp, Mark Siegel, Ed May, Chris Ware. Of course, you can't leave out Chris Ware. The guy is just on a level. I mean, he's like Craig Thomas. He's just on that level above, like everyone else, right? Ed Piskor. Gerald Jablonski, Aiden Koch, Sam Alden. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Take a look through it because the Best American Comics. It's worth the cover price here is $25. You order it on Amazon or whatever. It's probably closer to 18, $20. It's worth it every year, and even go back and buy the back years. Buy the years before. There's the previous years. There's one that was edited by Jeff Smith. Bert Spiegel, maybe? Now I'm drawing a blank. I have like all of them, and I can't think of who the other guest editors were. That is not very smart of me. Oh well. Well, I think that's about it for this week. I don't really have much else new to talk about. I did order. Take a look in your previews if you're big into comics. There's the Cerebus cover gallery. Being put out by IDW. It's listed at like $75 in previews. I pre-ordered it and got it for half price, so that's good. But it just looks amazing. It's like 500 pages. It's like all the covers plus commentary and art. I'm quite excited for that one. It doesn't come out till like January though. But they're doing the pre-orders now, so that's pretty exciting. All right. So check that out. Make sure to follow us here. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/theamazombie. You can look me up on Tumblr. You can look up the Amazombie. I believe it's actually. You can look up Tumblr. Look up the Amazombie. You can find my Tumblr. You can find us on Facebook at Yo Graphic Raps. You can. Pretty easy to find overall. You just look for the Amazombie, you're gonna find me. Okay. Well, that's about it. Oh, you can also follow me on my YouTube station, that's where I upload these videos. Just go to YouTube, search for Yo Graphic Raps. You'll find it. Not a problem. Okay. Seems like about it. Like I said, hit me up with questions, concerns, opinions about the episode, about format, things we can add, do, whatever you want to do. And that's about it for this week. So thank you guys for checking it out. Until next time.